So I was fortunate enough to sit down with Kay and Eric recently and hear the story about how ELC, formerly Colorado Council for Economic Education, got started. And it is a fantastic story. It was eerily reminiscent of what we're experiencing today. 50 years ago, there was general social unrest, an anti-establishment sentiment, and it's sort of a general disdain for capitalism. So it sounds eerily familiar with what we're dealing with today. So, and largely due to lack of understanding about the free enterprise system and how that's helped create the greatest issue in the world. And so we're thankful that Kay had the vision and that she and her the dynamic duo were able to create what we are now celebrating 50 years later. So since 1971, ELC has our programs have impacted nearly 50,000 teachers, and through the multiplier effect, enriched the lives of nearly 5 million students just here in Colorado. 5 million students. Okay, would you ever imagine? No, I don't think any of us would. But our work's not done. In fact, our mission is more critical now than ever. And I couldn't be more excited about where we are as an organization. We've done a lot of great things over the last couple of years. And we've put some plans in place that make me, and I think the rest of us that are involved, super excited about the next 6 years. And so, we're here to celebrate Kay. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that on Friday, she celebrated the end of her 88th trip around the sun. And I understand that you really like to have happy birthday songs for you. No, we're not going to do that. So honored to be here in celebration of Kay and her vision, and thank you again all for coming. And with that, I will introduce Debbie Pierce, President and CEO of the University of Colorado.
Everyone, I echo all of Chris's sentiments, and can't say enough about Kay, but there will be a lot said about her via a lot of people and a beautiful video that we have coming up. So Kay, you got my heart. You've just been a great mentor and a wonderful person. I can pick up the phone and call and ask questions of, and she's just really been something very, very special, as well as her husband. Oh my gosh, what they've been able to do. This is really, and I'm honored to be in this position. I really am. I do want to thank our staff. We have some staff members here, raise their hand, and they're here. And board members here, and say hello, and we're very pleased to be here. Thank you. And of course to you and to our teachers who really went through an incredible year, and of course many parents here were teachers. They weren't planning on it, but they were, and so it's been an amazing couple of years. And we are so very fortunate to have teachers who were really engaged and continued on with our programs, because what we were able to do, not easily, but we did it. We virtualized all of our programming. So we continued on. We had 2 programs we delayed to the fall until we could figure out how to virtualize them. And Cheryl and Jay, who's not here today, did an amazing job of making that possible. And as such, we reached more teachers and more small communities around the state. In every corner of the state, we had teachers attending virtually all of our classes. They were full classes. There were more teachers there than we expected. There were teachers that really expressed their gratitude that they could, whether they were from Durango or La Junta or Craig or wherever they were, that they could be part of our programming. And so they were very engaged and did a terrific job. So we are really great. That old saying, they wouldn't be hurdles if you couldn't get over them. And we got over a lot of hurdles this year. But we did a great job, and I'm really, really pleased with the staff. The silver lining is that we will now, looking forward, be able to continue with some virtual programming, but we'll get back into in-person, and then we'll do some hybrid. This is what we're experimenting with today. We've got some guests that are watching us online. And so we will intend to do some of the same with our programs. So the teachers are excited to get together. They want to be in person, but there are those that aren't going to drive the 8 hours per class, so they can attend the class virtually. So we're very excited to be moving in a new direction and moving forward for the next 50 years in the direction that we need to go. We are going to be, we finished a 3-year strategic plan. We've added, and the focus is on growth. And so we started by adding Bill Tortorisi. Where's Bill? Hi, Bill. Bill is our new chief philanthropy officer. And with Bill's support, we will be able to be adding programs. We're very excited. We're going to bring on a new part-time program director. Brian is going to be retiring this fall from the stock market experience. So the new person will take over that program, as well as a lot of new programs that we are very excited to launch with our organization. So, and another fun thing that we're doing, Kay, is we are going for the 6th revision of our free enterprise booklet. We'd hope to have it done today. It's not, it's almost done. It's thanks to the Daniels Fund. So it's a wonderful booklet, and we will send all of you a copy when it's printed. And it's just great to use in classrooms, for businesses, or business orientations, whatever you want to use it for. So it's exciting to be in this time, in this day and age, and to, 50th anniversary is amazing. And what I want to do right now is I want to introduce 2 very, very special people to our organization. They've been advocates and supporters for more than 25 years, served on our board for 20-some years. Buzz was a board chair for, I think, 3 years. They are the Adam Smith co-chairs of our organization. And they were our 2015 Adam Smith Award dinner honorees. And they're the namesakes of this award that has been given out. So please welcome Buzz and Sherry Coble, who will introduce the Coble Enterprising Teacher of the Year, Amy Paul Rogers. Buzz and Sherry, thank you.
Thanks, Debbie. This is always a treat. Every year it's a true honor to recognize a teacher who's mastered the teaching of economics or personal finance in such a way that their students enjoy, understand, and appreciate its value. And in the building business, I can tell you that, you all know this, but you got to have a strong foundation. And that strong foundation was started 50 years ago. A lot of people in this room actually have continued to sustain that foundation. But the magical beauty of this organization is the teachers. That's the thing that creates the beauty on top of the foundation that we've all helped create and sustain. And this year's Coble Enterprising Teacher Award, and I'm going to stop for a moment here and say that you're going to hear about Terry Considine a couple times today, but Terry, a number of years ago, put a nice foundation underneath this award to make sure we could continue to make it. But this year's Enterprising Teacher of the Year award is Amy Pa Rogers, who teaches economics at Boulder's Fairview High School. Since Amy started teaching in 2001, she has grown Fairview's economics program from 40 teachers to nearly 225 students. 40 students to 225 students.
Wow.
And few things that we talk more about in free market economics is the multiplier effect. And we need many more of these kind of multiplier effects to continue to sustain the mission that is more important today than ever before. So Amy Pa Rogers is this year's Enterprising Teacher Award, and who annually elect to take economic. So the beauty of this award for Amy is these students have to elect to take this class. So she went from 40 to 225 through election. So it tells you how special what she teaches is. And so
Or how popular. She's a popular girl.
So maybe Amy could tell us a little bit about why she loves teaching economics and what she does to help inspire the students.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Here's my. I got a picture with you with it. So that was kind of fun with my kids with masks. So that was lovely.
Great.
let's see, I need to clarify a little bit, is we do have about 250 kids a year that take economics at my high school, but that is, we started very small, but we now have another teacher that's teaching it as well. Too many for me to do. And so we have 3 programs that we get to offer, which is an AP class, an IB class, and then a college prep class. So there's something for everybody. And I think really what kicked it off in terms of picking up the number of students was, unfortunately, 2008 was a pretty watershed year in terms of changing things. And I have a degree in economics and background in economics, and so that was what I taught up until 2008. But after 2008, we really started incorporating a lot more personal financial literacy into the classes. And I think that, the kids, the buzz in the hall and the talking is like, oh, that's so cool. And they are learning to manage their own money. And I think that, I was just actually at my son's graduation, and somebody asked me, like, how come we don't teach more of that in schools? And, we're trying. There's obviously, every state does not have the opportunity to have organization like Economic Literacy Colorado. We're very fortunate to have this for teachers here in our state. But it is, kids talking to kids about exciting things about learning about economics and personal finance. And then also, support like this organization and obviously Kay. So thank you all very much. I feel really fortunate. I've had several friends who have won this award in the past, and I get to join the club. So thank you all very much. And I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Amy, how exciting. Now I have the honor of introducing Miss Ruby Link. She is the 2021 LaCationate Young Economist Scholar. Ruby, why don't you come on up here? So the LaCationate Young Economist Award is a $1,000 scholarship granted to a junior or senior in high school who has gained a really keen understanding of economics. And Ruby wrote the winning essay this year. It was to the prompt, "What economics means to me." She just graduated from Boulder High School, and where she took economics from Richard Trinkner, who's been one of our longtime mentor teachers, which is great. And he couldn't be here today. He apologized. He's teaching some other economics teachers in some programming that he's doing, which is wonderful. So Ruby's going to be attending Chapman University in California, and she plans to double major. Double major in economics, data analytics. Ruby, congratulations. Would you do us the honor of reading at least part of your essay? And why don't you put your beautiful award up here and speak right to the mic? That'd be great.
It's not that I thought economics didn't pertain to me before taking an AP course. I saw its importance relating to commonly televised topics like inflation, unemployment, and stocks. And while those terms had the potential to relate to me, most of them didn't. It wasn't until after months of learning about the subject, I came to find that economics is responsible for more than what the media portrays. Every choice made beneath my roof plays a vital role in today's complicated economic world. This fall, I was tasked with the daunting process of deciding where to attend college. At first, my criteria only consisted of a warm location and stellar academics. But as I began learning about concepts like opportunity cost, marginal benefit, and scarcity, my view changed in its entirety. I no longer see the process as a simple division of what I like and dislike in each school. Instead, I view it as a verdict that places me deeper in the world of economics. I can now see how my decision is determined by the opportunity costs that are inevitable in every potential choice. If I go to a warm location, I will be giving up the opportunity to go to a school that is close to home. Or if I choose to go to a place with better academics on the East Coast, I forfeit my desire for optimal weather. Additionally, my money, a scarce resource in the process, will ultimately determine if my choice is feasible. Scarcity forces me to choose what I need most, and I have to find a balance between cost and value in order to maximize my marginal benefit. My knowledge of the economy forces me to think about every decision. I think of how the economy affects me, and equally as important, how I affect the economy. Examples of my newfound perspective on the world are endless. It's as if I can see through a new pair of eyes and read the fine print of my actions. I understand how my small, everyday choices contribute to something bigger than what I may be able to see. With my part-time job, I exchange my human capital for money. When I go to the grocery store, I am impacting supply and demand. I contribute to someone's income and employment. I influence an economy that runs from my household up to the government. I now take note of how my seemingly meaningless actions impact a system beyond my immediate reach. So economics isn't just something that could potentially or eventually affect me. Its meaning finds me every day, and I contribute to the effect it has on our country. So now, when asked what economics means to me, I can see that it's not just what economics does for me, it's also what I do for economics. It's all of us, average Americans, and the system working in unison to create what we see today.
Ruby's gonna go stand like Kay. You want to give these two hands together. Wasn't that wonderful? I chuckled when I learned that Ruby was going to Chapman because my daughter had to go to California school for the same reason, the warm weather. She was sure she was a ocean girl, and she lasted there one semester. For different reasons, it's a wonderful university, but she was drawn back to home, so she had to go to Boulder. So she didn't have the economics to really think it through before she went, I guess. And now, thank you both. And now we have a video. It is our 50th anniversary video that Becky Colvin beautifully put together for us, and we are very excited. And please enjoy while we watch this.
The free enterprise system is the best system we've ever had in our lives. It just makes a better society, and it makes a freer society.
How to earn, how to save, how to invest.
Investment strategies.
These are crucial understandings for every American.
Just an economic way of thinking is critically important.
Economic Literacy Colorado provides teaching for teachers on how to teach financial literacy, and also provides programs for youth in schools to learn about the stock market.
Well, the stock market experience is a fun, interactive simulation that operates in real time.
And other key financial tools that they'll have at their disposal.
Economic Literacy Colorado's history goes back to 1971, 50 years ago, when then Governor John Love recognized there was a gap between what students knew graduating from high school and what they needed to know to be active citizens of our community and our society, and determined that getting to the teachers first was really going to be most valuable. And it was shortly after that then that Kay Schmidt was engaged in the whole process.
They offered the program to me. They said, come out and see what the program is like at Stanford University. So I did, and they had some wonderful professors. I spent a lot of the time talking to people like Joe Coors that we knew personally.
An organization like this doesn't get started without someone with a huge amount of passion, drive, and ability to take an idea, to mold it in development. And Kay Schmidt was the perfect person to do that.
We had to get a board of directors, we had to organize it, we had to decide how we were going to work with the schools.
And within 5 years, by 1976, at that time, Colorado Council for Economic Education was established as an independent 501c3.
It's a wonderful nonprofit organization dedicated to sharing the virtues and understanding of free market economics with young people.
And had top people. I mean, we had Coors, AT&T, the top corporations, the most powerful corporations in Colorado were represented on that board.
Over the course of the next few years, she brought in some programs to the state to help the teachers, establish some other ones in state.
One of the first programs, I think, that we did was with Jefferson County Schools.
Commitment is a big, that's a word I think about when I think of Kay, because there were good times and bad times, but she never let up, and she lived all the way in Boulder. The other thing I really liked about Kay is that, ideas have consequences. Ideas matter. And she was always intellectually engaged and just so excited about passing on that knowledge to other people and sharing it.
I think Kay Schmidt, in doing what she did sort of single-handedly, and then it grew and grew and continues to be a very visionary organization, thanks to Kay.
The mission was something that so resonated with both Sherry and I. It was really rewarding for us to be involved for over 25 years.
You four may trade with each other, and you five may...
And one thing I really like about ELC is that they catch the teachers, and the teachers teach the students, and those teachers are going to impact students over the course of their career.
I've got to choose, and that's what economics is about.
We're often known as a college for teachers, an economics college for teachers.
In addition, the teachers get accredited. Most of our professors who teach the classes for the teachers are within the Colorado University system.
This is the most effective way. It's more effective in getting teachers up to speed in teaching economics than anything you learn as a teacher in your college education.
It was exactly what I wanted to teach my kids, and it was in a beautiful format. So we started with that and with several of our kids.
Let's talk about the stock market and kind of debrief.
They know how to invest in the stock market.
And you have to know risk tolerance.
They understand compound interest. They understand the value of starting early. They have a very good foundation.
I love the fact that we teach the teachers because you get the multiplier effect. I mean, each teacher is going to touch, presumably thousands of students throughout their career. And so if we can keep those teachers educated and informed about, some of the things that we do and what makes personal finance important.
Bottom line is, it's foundational life skills that give them a much better opportunity for the future.
In 2016, we took a really close look at who we are as Colorado Council for Economic Education.
Colorado Council for Economic Education is now Economic Literacy Colorado.
We are the same organization that was here in the past. We offer the same programs, if not more. They're more robust. And our team at ELC in 2020 did an amazing job of turning all of our classes virtually. The silver lining is that we got teachers coming from all over the state attending these programs, thrilled to pieces.
I believe that teaching economic education would level the playing field. It would allow all of our students, from every kind of background, to have an equal footing.
And for us, as multi-generational, 3 generations involved, continue to be supportive and to continue to fuel the process of training educators to help perpetuate what's great about our system.
I love coming here. This is a beautiful place. I love the people. I love the people who talk about liberty and actually live it and mean it every single day. I admire what you're doing here with CCEE, and it's an honor for me to be here.
The other thing that I think ELC does a really good job of is it reaches into some of those communities that are a little harder to reach into. Inner city kids, minority kids, by teaching a diverse group of teachers that are teaching a diverse group of children. We're bringing the disadvantaged populations up truly one family at a time. So in this era of social justice that we've been focused on for the last year, I can't think of too many things that are more socially just than breaking the cycle.
Perfect.
One of the things we've looked at as we've gone on in years is the fact that so many charities are out there to pull people out of the raging river, out of the water. One of the beauties of ELC is if we give the youth the foundational understanding of our country and what they can do in their own lives, that in effect will allow them not to fall in the river. And the more people we can prevent from falling in the river, the more productive society we will have.
I think there should be a requirement for kids to graduate from high school to have some basic economics understanding, personal finance understanding.
Our children know it because we taught them, but a lot of adults don't know these skills and they don't have the ability to teach their own children. So it's important that the kids learn in another setting.
For anybody who has any doubt how important this is, one, I question where they got their money from, right? If you don't understand the mistakes that are there that a lot of people have made, how can we teach that to our kids? But also you look at the impact it has. Just listen to any of the stories of the kids. I've been at the teacher workshops where it changes teachers' lives to be able to speak in a common language to their kids. That builds connection, that builds community. And without financial literacy in schools, we fail to prepare our children for the future.
And we need to continue to educate our younger generation to the great opportunities that exist with the free enterprise system.
They'd be better consumers, they'd be better citizens, they'd be better parents.
I think it's more important today than it's ever been. And we were so excited. How many organizations actually make it 50 years?
Kudos to everyone who's involved with Economic Literacy Colorado. 50 years. And I've been associated with the organization for 37 of those 50 years. I wouldn't have continued the collaboration had I not believed in its mission and its efficacy. 50 more.
Something that I'm excited to help keep that momentum going and build on that foundation that Kay started.
What an impact this one wonderful lady has made on so many lives in Colorado.
Thank you.
Very good foundation. I love the fact that we teach the teachers because you get the multiplier effect. Each teacher is going to touch, presumably thousands of students throughout their career. And so if we can keep those teachers educated and informed about, some of the things that we do and what makes personal finance important.
Bottom line is, it's foundational life skills that give them a much better opportunity for the future.
In 2016, we took a really close look at who we are as Colorado Council for Economic Education. Colorado Council for Economic Education is now Economic Literacy Colorado. We are the same organization that was here in the past. We offer the same programs, if not more. They're more robust. And our team at ELC in 2020 did an amazing job of turning all of our classes virtually. The silver lining is that we got teachers coming from all over the state attending these programs, thrilled to pieces.
I believe that teaching economic education would level the playing field. It would allow all of our students, from every kind of background, to have an equal footing.
And for us, that's multi-generational, 3 generations involved. Continue to be supportive and to continue to fuel the process of training educators to help perpetuate what's great about our system.
I love coming here. This is a beautiful place. I love the people. I love the people who talk about liberty and actually live it and mean it every single day. I admire what you're doing here with CCEE, and it's an honor for me to be here.
The other thing that I think ELC does a really good job of is it reaches into some of those communities that are a little harder to reach into. Inner city kids, minority kids, by teaching a diverse group of teachers that are teaching a diverse group of children, we're bringing the disadvantaged populations up truly one family at a time. So in this era of social justice that we've been focused on for the last year, I can't think of too many things that are more socially just than breaking the cycle.
Perfect.
One of the things we've looked at as we've gone on in years is the fact that so many charities are out there to pull people out of the raging river, out of the water. One of the beauties of ELC is if we give the youth the foundational understanding of our country and what they can do in their own lives, that in effect will allow them not to fall in the river. And the more people we can prevent from falling in the river, the more productive society we will have.
I think there should be a requirement for kids to graduate from high school to have some basic economics understanding, from personal finance understanding.
Our children know it because we taught them, but a lot of adults know these skills and they don't have the ability to teach their own children. So it's important that the kids learn in another setting.
For anybody who has any doubt how important this is, one, I question where they got their money from, right? If you don't understand the mistakes that are there that a lot of people made, how can we teach that to our kids? But also you look at the impact it has. Just listen to any of the stories of the kids. I've been at the teacher workshops where it changes teachers' lives to be able to speak in a common language to their kids. That builds connection, that builds community. And without financial literacy in schools, we fail to prepare our children for the future.
And we need to continue to educate our younger generation to the great opportunities that exist with a free enterprise system.
They'd be better consumers, they'd be better citizens, they'd be better parents.
I think it's more important today than it's ever been. And we were so excited. How many organizations actually make it 50 years?
Kudos to everyone who's involved with Economic Literacy Colorado. 50 years. And I've been associated with the organization for 37 of those 50 years. I wouldn't have continued the collaboration had I not believed in its mission and its efficacy. 50 more.
Something that I'm excited to help keep that momentum going, build on that foundation that the K started.
What an impact this one wonderful lady has made on so many lives in Colorado.
Thank you.
And to our guests that were watching, you saw the last part of it. We had a few glitches at the beginning, so we are back on track again. Becky, thank you again for doing such a beautiful job on this video. This means a lot to us. We will make this available on our website for the guests that couldn't be here today and family members. So now I'm honored to introduce a fabulous woman. She has been active with ELC since 1994, a board member for 15 years. She's a member of the Adam Smith Circle. She's an Adam Smith Circle member, a huge behind-the-scenes advocate for our organization. That she doesn't get enough kudos, that's for sure. She secures major speakers. She taps people on the shoulder and say, "You need to buy a table for the Adam Smith dinner," and they say, "Sure, let me write the check." I mean, she's just an amazing lady. So let me introduce Meg Duke, who's going to present Kay with her Lifetime Honoree Award. A few weeks after I moved to Denver from the Reagan White House Counsel's Office, I was invited by Catherine Smalley Whitcomb, who's here today, to attend a Michael Novak lecture at the Old DU Business School. I love Michael Novak, so I was thrilled. The event was sponsored by ELC's predecessor, Colorado Council on Economic Education. 500 people attended, but as we walked out, Catherine introduced me to Kay. And she was hosting a private dinner that night for 8 people. And for some odd reason, unbeknownst to me, I was invited. So it was a thrill of my life. In my life, I've learned that you don't make friends, you recognize them. And that's exactly what I discovered in Kay that evening. I'd also found a lifelong mentor. Kay may not be the first person to have said ideas have consequences, as I mentioned in the video. But she put that philosophy into action by founding CCE and working day and night to design and single-handedly fund it. She felt, as we all do here, that that free market economics are the foundation to a prosperous society, encouraging work, individual responsibility, dignity, and freedom. The alternative is economic dependency and the loss of personal liberty. Kay first placed me on an advisory board focusing specifically on her speakers bureau, and boy, did we have fun coming up with and committing stimulating speakers to spread our gospel to Denver generally and to the business community specifically. Those events help raise money to keep our affordable teacher training going. Next, I joined the board for a number of years, 14 or so. As I look back on Kay's kindness and generosity at that first dinner,
I thank you, my dear friend, for your inspiration, mentorship, and love. Kay Schmidt. And I want to give you a little something. This beautiful clock for your wonderful contributions for beginning the organization, the 50th Anniversary Lifetime Achievement Award, LaKay Schmidt, Economic Education Trailblazer and Champion, Economic Literacy Colorado, 1971 to 2021.
My deep appreciation for this honor from the organization bestows upon me today, and thanks to each of you who are here. Starting the organization was quite a challenge and involved a lot of great people and gained momentum with every new program. Many people that were there at the beginning are here today. For example, 2 members of the Coors family are today are the 3rd generation of contributors that started with Holly and Joe Coors. So to have 3 generations of donors is a real tribute to what I'm pleased the organization not only survived, but thrived because of many people in this room. I'm pleased and amazed at the audience that has come today, and I appreciate every one of you taking the time to be here. We have donors here, members, staff members, teachers who attended our programs, university faculty who taught our economic classes, etc. Our appreciation to all of you for being part of the team. In closing, I want to tell you something. I want to read something from a teacher who attended some of our first programs with the Colorado Council on Economic Education. And actually that teacher is here today. And this is what he says. My educational career has been heavily influenced by the Colorado Council on Economic Education more than any other source. It gave me the confidence, the motivation to teach economics at secondary level, a task not completed by many of our colleagues. It provided me with fascinating college courses, up-to-date economic resources, and materials that can be used to enhance my everyday teaching. And it has given continuous support and encouragement to those of us in the teaching profession. The council's message is clear and consistent. It tells us teachers, students are important. The economics concept need to be understood by all students in our city and state and nation. It tells that its teachers are important and that the teachers know that this support from the business community is very important to having their programs available to them. I'm going to end saying there's a teacher today that's here. His name is Jay Granwald, and he wrote that essay. See Jay before now, and I looked around to be sure he was here. But he has taught in at least 2 metro area high schools over probably 30 years. How many years, Jay? 49. Wow, more than I even could have imagined. He is one of the most talented teachers I knew in my whole career. and is loved by, was loved by his students. Are you now retired though, Jay?
No.
Oh. He's taught thousands of teachers and is keeping it going. And he has been a wonderful friend, and I wanted Jay to stand up and show us who you are. It's a great team. And to everybody in this audience that has been part of the council, and we're really grateful for the time that you took to come today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Meg. I'll take just a second to announce here. By the way, if you can indulge another 10 to 12 minutes, I'm sorry that we're running late. I don't typically like to do that, but we got a couple of really important things coming up. So one of the things I do want to say, now that we've all met Meg Duke and know what a wonderful person she is, the announcement is that this fall's Adam Smith Award Dinner, which honors a person or an organization who is who's really committed to our free enterprise system and is a role model for high ethical standards, a wonderful support of economic education. We honor somebody at our biannual event, and this year's 2021 Adam Smith Award honoree is going to be Miss Meg Duke. There's two gentlemen who mean a lot to our organization, and they established the 50th anniversary matching gift campaign for our organization. If I could please help introduce two dear friends, Buzz Coble and Terry Considine. Buzz is the president and CEO of Coble and Company, as you could probably guess, and Terry for a long time was head of INCO, and he is now the CEO of AIR Communities, AIR. Thank you.
Well, I first want to say that in a narrow sense, Buzz is the reason I'm here. Because he called maybe in May and said that we should do this. And I thought, once again, I'm going to follow Buzz and Sherry into action. Because what they have done for our community is something remarkable. But in a larger sense, Kate, I want to be here to honor you and to talk a little bit for a minute about how we met and how I've enjoyed supporting you over these many years. Because when Kay talks about free markets, that of course appeals to the business side of us that knows that that's the most productive, most efficient way to grow and has changed the 10,000 years of subsistence living throughout society. It's been the greatest agent of change. But Kay also recognizes the moral dimension. Meg mentioned my dear friend Michael Novak, and that is that a free market requires free people, and that liberty is the underlying assumption, and that's what gives rise to personal responsibility, individual opportunity, agency, and really is the answer to the culture we have now of treating people as categories. And so for that moral dimension and that economic dimension, I want to add a third. You are a warrior for our time, but you're a happy warrior. You and Eric and your work together have touched so many lives, and always in such a generous and friendly way that they've been enlarged, even those who didn't agree. So congratulations.
Well said, Terry. And I'll be honest, I'm very touched. What a great day. You think about what this organization had done. So let's kind of just quickly reflect for a minute. How many organizations, like I said, make it 50 years? How many organizations can have an event honoring the founder of 50 years? But more importantly, the reason I'm touched, Terry expanded on it there, we're changing the world here. Changing the world one individual student at a time. teaching them about choice and opportunity and scarcity, that each individual can achieve whatever level they so choose in their life. That's what made America great, the most magical system in the history of the planet. But this is why we're here today, is celebrating the years of success of 5 million students. And so I'm so thrilled, Terry mentioned it. So I gave him a call one day and said, 50th anniversary, why don't we join together and give a $50,000 matching grant? I'd hardly finished that before he said, done. I'm in. But you've heard it a number of times today. I said it before, the multiplier effect. So the beauty of this is the multiplier effect of what Amy did in expanding the number of students that are inspired to take the class. That's multiplier. Then you get the teachers who teach thousands of students, and many of them do it. Well, not all of them do it for 49 years. Okay. But that's a multiplier effect of substantial proportion. Okay, but the multiplier effect of reaching the kids through the students who are inspired and informed by a lot of what we do at ELC. And so I'm so honored to be able to tell you that there's another component of the multiplier effect I'm going to tell you right now, and that is Terry and I put up 50,000. And I didn't want to do we decided, let's do a multiplier effect. Let's do 1 for 2. So every dollar we put up, we want to get 2. I can tell you as of today, we are at a total of 249,753, which is $43 less than a total 4-to-1 match. So the success of the multiplier effect is recognized, and it's clearly recognized by virtue of all the support many in this room have given and those who understand the importance of this organization. And I think we all know this organization has been never more important than this very time, building on why it was so important when Kay started it. So joining with Terry, I can't tell you how much we all appreciate everything everybody has done, and continue to spread the word, cast the net further about the importance of this organization, because education and the right education of our youth is the future of our country. Thank you.
Thank you both really so very much. So to expect to raise 100,000, raise just shy of 200,000 is amazing. We got a wonderful gift in yesterday that really bumped it up from a 1 to a 3 to a 1 to 4 match. Yay! So thank you for that. And now I'd like to introduce another gentleman today who hosted the event today here for all of you to come and enjoy and spend time with Kay. Earl Wright has been a longtime supporter of our organization. He is the chairman of the board of AMG National Trust. Just somebody that means a lot to us, and he's always got words of wisdom that we're very excited for him to share. So thank you, Earl.
Okay, 50 years, and I found out today 800 books. That's how many books she has in her library on economics. Anybody else have 800 books in their library of economics? Maybe down at the university. Anyway, okay, something else that I found what we have in common. AMG started about 50 years ago. And I have a co-founder of 50 years. You have Mary, co-founder of 50 years. But let me share something with you. I can identify that an organization without vision doesn't have a future. Thank you for the vision. Now, you were given a task, but you had a vision. I can also tell you that 50 years is not always easy. A commitment is needed. A commitment when you've got 4 children and you've gotten a master's degree at the University of Colorado. You're helping your husband get elected to public office. I would say that's a commitment that far exceeded the commitment I had to have for 50 years. I want you to know that. The other is that it takes a huge effort. The huge effort has to be followed by lots of people that want to come along. You mentioned very generously. And one of the beauties of leadership is humility. And my goodness, you sure exhibit that. I don't see one time that I've ever seen you in the 20 years I've been around watching that you've ever taken one lick of credit. Not one. And that's a special. Let me tell you something else that's a little special about you. It goes back to 1834. Alex de Tocqueville was traveling the United States, and he wanted to know, well, what is special about American democracy? And what he found out was special about American democracy is that when you went to a community and there was an issue, the people in that community got involved to solve the problem. They got engaged. It wasn't something they looked for somebody else to solve. It wasn't something they looked for somebody out at the State House to solve. It was they decided that, hey, we as a community will take up on the challenge and get it done. Okay, you've done that. You took the challenge and you took it, you got it done. And Kay, I'd like to say that, you know, it's not only a matter of organizing and getting people to cooperate in solving an issue. It's also a matter of coming back and saying, what do I have to do to make it happen? And you did that. You found out ways to make it happen, and you got all sorts of other people convinced that they can also do it. And you had them convinced that they were the ones who were making it happen, which is even a better way to do it. Oh, look at Buzz. You know, Buzz is so darn convinced that he has been involved with this and helping it happen. I'm going to tell you, I hear more about this organization from Buzz and Sherry than you could ever imagine. But it's just true around this entire room. Everybody here that's been engaged for a long period of time feels one way or another, they helped make it happen. Okay? That's leadership. And we thank you so much. It wouldn't have happened without that. And there's one of the things that an old friend of mine used to say, Earl, if you're going to go out there, do it right and make a difference. Okay? Thank you.
Earl, thank you. And Buzz and Sherry, Terry, Meg, Chris, Earl, and especially Kay and Eric. How wonderful this has been, and a lot of Kay's family is here, and guests from Boulder, and we just, you know, got so many amazing people in this room that did make it happen. I mean, they are making it happen, and this enormous gift that Buzz and Terry made possible is what's going to launch us into the next 50 years. So I have huge shoes that I stepped into, and I'm doing my best to continue on with Kay's. What a pioneer you were, and there aren't a lot of women 50 years ago that would have said, I got economics, no problem. It's a man's field in general, back then wasn't it? You were one of the few women that stood up and said, I'm going to take this on and roll with it, and she did a great job. So I know there are many of you that also have great kudos you'd like to give to Kay. We have time afterwards to mix and mingle, and if you want to come up and see Kay at that point, that would be great. Heidi, I want to get a couple pictures of Kay with some of the other, you know, with Meg and her award and so on. And I want to thank all of you really for generously giving of your time today to join us today, coming from Colorado Springs, coming from Boulder. It's just been terrific. So thank you. Have a wonderful day and go home safely.
Website.